No matter how much they are offered in tax incentives. A group of about 4,000 car dealerships are begging President Biden to tap the brakes on electric vehicle mandates because EVs are just sitting there. Here is the letter that we're talking about from the dealership. They're saying, we are asking you to shut down proposed regulations mandating battery vehicles productions and distributions. Take a look at where these businesses, the dealerships that signed this, do business. They're in all 50 states. And heavy in California, interestingly enough, where my father lives, where I'm from, and where there have been extra incentives from the state to sell EVs. And even there, they just can't sell them. Is it because EVs are so much more eco-friendly and the consumer just doesn't care about that? That's not the case. In fact, there's no research that EVs are more eco-friendly. That's a lie. We've shown you this data. They are incredibly taxing on the electric grid, which California doesn't have a lot of. And they, in places that rely on gas-powered power plants or coal, charging all of these EVs causes more greenhouse gas emissions, not less. Something the dealers quite rightly point out, though, is that the U.S. should wait until EV battery components are domestically sourced. Well, let's take a look at that for a second. What do they mean? They're referring to lithium and cobalt. Currently, those essential components for EVs are mined overseas. We've shown you this, the awful way that cobalt is mined in the Congo at a high cost to human life. So what do the dealers mean then that we should wait until the U.S. can mine these things domestically? Well, the U.S. does have a plan to do this. They've paid lip service saying we do want to mine these things ourselves instead of rely on China or Congo. But here is why they haven't been able to. This is from the Institute for Energy Resources, a research saying that the Inflation Reduction Act from the Biden administration provides incentives and subsidies for car buyers and automakers. Here's what it is. But this is a dilemma. Look at the middle of this paragraph. Despite dozens of potential mines in the U.S. and Canada, most projects are in various stages of development and are years away from production, particularly because of what we call climate babies or environmental lawsuits delaying development due to multiple entry points for litigation in U.S. regulatory law. So even if we start now, we're not going to be able to keep up with what we would need to make all these EVs. That's in the U.S., though. What's sad about this is that cobalt workers would not work in those same conditions that they do in the Congo. It just wouldn't be allowed. We have OSHA. We have eyes. We wouldn't allow this. But when environmentalists maybe don't think about or just don't care about is that when they sue to block this mining in the U.S., they're making it worse for people working in the Congo. And what happens is that these much less regulated or not regulated at all, in the case of the Congo, that's where it's mined.